I want to introduce myself. My name is Betsy Beach. That's beach like the beach. I'm a math teacher and for my day job. I'm also a hearing aid user, hard of hearing, severe, profound deaf in both ears. I am on the commission for the deaf and hard of hearing. I was appointed 9 years ago to the commission. I'm presently the secretary. Um, and I've been through many, many years of dealing with hearing loss. Uh, when I went to Mass and Eye and Ear recently to get some testing done, they had a checklist and I checked just about everything. So I had hearing loss at birth, I had childhood ear infections, I've been subjected to a lot of industrial noise. I've had different infections, gradual hearing loss, sudden acute hearing loss. So with all of these experiences, um, I have needed to find support for myself. And in particular, I have found that being part of the Hearing Loss Association of America, Rhode Island State Association has been particularly helpful. I have a paper here with the logo. This is what the logo for the state office looks like. Presently, I serve as coordinator for the state office. So what is this association? It started in 1979, and it's a group that's dedicated to opening up the world of communication to people with hearing loss through information, education, support, and advocacy. They publish many things, magazines, 6 times a year, holding annual conventions once a year. Their fundraising Walk for Hearing event is held in many cities throughout the country. And they hold webinars every month on hearing loss topics. The National Support Network includes the Rhode Island State Office and also state organizations and local chapters all throughout the country. Our state organization meets every other month. We start in January, meeting every other month at the Warwick Public Library on Saturday afternoons from 2 to 4 p.m. All right, I have a prompt from the audience, which you're not going to see, but I have this question. Dear HLAA Rhode Island, who can belong to your group? Suppose I have profound hearing loss, but don't use sign language. Can I still feel comfortable in your group? Do you always have captions? Do you advocate for free automatic captioning on cell phones? That would help me a lot. So yes, I will say that we welcome folks with hearing loss. We welcome advocates for folks with hearing loss, their family members, and also service providers such as audiologists have joined HLAA Rhode Island. We have captioning at all our meetings. We usually use CART, which is captioning across real time. And it's up on front at our meetings on a screen where everyone can see it. We do advocate for captioning on cell phones. We realize that Androids at the present time have very good captioning for their phones, and it's free. But that's not true for iPhones. And HLAA does get involved in issues such as this, captioning, advocating for better services for people with hearing loss. So when you come to this meeting, you're going to meet others like you. You're going to learn more about hearing loss and all the coping strategies. You're going to learn how you can be assertive, how you can create better communication in many situations, in public places, during meetings. You can cope at work. You'll learn about that and much more. We have sort of advocated for different venues to provide better services for people with hearing loss, and among those are the movie theaters, which now have open captioning on movie screens, and Trinity Rep has performances for people that are captioned. All right, so just in general to say who is in our group, I want to also just give the idea to everybody that hearing loss does not discriminate. Approximately 48 million Americans have significant hearing loss. And people with hearing loss wait an average of 7 years before seeking help. So it's not a group where people automatically think, oh my gosh, I got to do something right away. So we want to change that, because it actually is a group that is very prevalent. Out of Americans in the workplace, most jobs in the United States expose people to hazardous noise levels, and that has a significant impact on people, as well as things that, create noise for people, like music and earbuds for teens. In fact, 1 in 5 teens in the US have some degree of hearing loss. I think the other statistic that I want to say is that our veterans are also very much in our group. I think there's 2.7 million veterans in the United States that are receiving some kind of care for hearing loss. So the other piece is what do we need to know in this present time with COVID-19? Because mastering communications, wearing face masks, and practicing social distancing is just especially difficult for people with hearing loss, because there's a reduced visibility for people's faces, and there's a reduced auditory input, and also hearing aids are set to do well within 5 to 10 feet of the person speaking, and if you're practicing social distancing, that often is difficult. So what I would like to advise people to do is to go find out about some of the things I'm going to talk about, find out about some of the equipment that's necessary when you're dealing with it in this day and age. And this has a very good list to find all the tech stuff you need. Okay, it's called connecthere.org. They will talk there about getting masks that have clear panels, video conferencing, live captioning, automated captioning, captions for apps on mobile phones, audio streaming to hearing devices, and adding captions to media that you've been sent. So that is a good website. All right. So another question I've gotten is during the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, how will you be able to talk to doctors, nurses, and others at our hospitals? So most hospitals now are seeing a large number of patients and can not provide the same services that they usually do. They will mostly not allow in-person interpreters, family members, or visitors to come into the hospital, and you might be alone for a long period of time at the hospital. Most doctors and nurses in hospitals now wear masks and gloves, and they talk to you behind a window or a curtain. So it might be harder for you to understand them. So just know that you have the right to decide your care. This means you can prepare yourself and bring a few things, bring some communication tools to the hospital with you. So print out a page or a medical placard saying you're deaf, hard of hearing or deafblind, whatever, and that you need the hospital staff to communicate with you differently. And then if you have a smartphone, you can load apps on it that you'll need to communicate, and bring the smartphone and the charger with you. And when you get to the hospital, make sure where you're situated, if possible, has some good Wi-Fi, good strong Wi-Fi. If you do not have a smartphone, you can ask the hospital staff to bring you pad of paper and pens and just write out your communication. And of course, bring extra batteries for your hearing aid, cochlear implant, or assisted listening device. I hope this helps. I would love for anybody seeing this who would like to join the HLAA Rhode Island meetings. This is the website information that you need. Okay, hearingloss.org is the HLAA website. And if you go to /chapters-state.org, it'll give you all the information for the Rhode Island chapter, and you can get in touch with us. So again, I'm from this Hearing Loss Association of America. We're here to open the world of communication to people with hearing loss through information, education, support, and advocacy. And that's what I have to. Be safe. Bye-bye.